and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Ed Gamble, Sophie Duker and Maisie Adam, Mark Simmons, Hugh Dennis and Ed Burke. We start with a round called This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Mark, which category would you like?
Please, may I have home news?
You can, of course, have home news. Your topic is home news. The answer is pizza, clothes and sweat. What can this be about? What is the question?
Is it what has Jeremy Corbyn offered free to everyone?
What is by far my most depressing Pornhub search?
Is it what 3 things can smell of cheese?
Is it what 3 things has Jennifer Curie hung on to as keepsakes from her time with Boris Johnson?
What 3 things is it usually a mistake to order online?
Is it what will we use as currency after Brexit?
Is it how does Primark pay its workers?
Is it name 3 reasons I was asked to leave the sauna?
Is it?
In that order seems weird. I mean, surely. And the sweat. You're all sweating.
Is it what would make a better list of choices for Prime Minister than what's on offer at the moment? I mean, just by dint of the fact there's 3 choices, really.
Is it what gifts did the 3 stupid men bring Jesus?
Is it name 3 things that can be crusty?
Is it what are my favourite kinds of shop?
Is it too much of what ruins sex?
Does anyone want to give the correct answer?
What does your dressing room smell of?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now you're going to say, well, what do clothes smell? How can I smell clothes?
It's literally what's I smell clothes. Distinct aroma of clothes. Really?
Smell your clothes.
Yeah.
Smell your mother off my clothes.
Well, isn't that nice? This is how I find out.
I am very happy to go to the correct answer if anyone has the correct answer.
Is it one of the 3 highlights from Prince Andrew's no-holds-barred interview?
That is close enough. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Eva. Yes, of course. The question is looking for what are 3 things Prince Andrew referred to during his explosive interview with Newsnight's Emily Maitlis. This is news that Prince Andrew has attempted to draw a line under allegations regarding his relationship with disgraced billionaire Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew has announced that he's to step back from royal duties for the foreseeable future. Did we all watch the interview? Did you watch it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was in a Wagamama's in Basingstoke.
Have any of you been in the Pizza Express in Woking?
I think I might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have no memory of it.
Apparently, yes, he couldn't be at a nightclub in London because he was at a children's birthday party in a Pizza Express in Woking.
Well, that's the decision we have to make now, whether he was at the party with the children or whether he was at Pizza Express Woking.
It is also eminently possible to get from...
Yeah.
Woking is not...
Well, listen, it's about 25 miles from London, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's saying he was in Pizza Express at 5, so he couldn't have been in London at 11, which means he's thinking that South West trains might take 5 hours to get... Actually, I believe him.
Yeah.
Also, you don't know. You would have thought, because we're not quite sure whether he was there on that day, and you think that other people would be able to corroborate it.
Yeah.
I think you would notice that Prince Andrew was at the party.
What do you think he ordered? A hot American?
Well, interestingly, his nickname is Doughballs.
I think he did. He had an American hot with extra chilies and apparently left dry as a bone. Is that controversial? Talk about him not being able to sweat. It's fairly basic.
At one point, he did kind of go all EastEnders on us when he went. I picked the children up because the Duchess wasn't in. And
You
just
don't
loved
become
it.
the
He was
Duchess,
talking
yeah.
about Beatrice, going, "All right, Princess, you're OK, darling."
Do you think he thought he was acting well during the interview? Because there was a moment where there was a revelation and then he almost did like a double spit take. Like, he just went... It's like, you know when Scooby-Doo...
January?
You know when Scooby-Doo finds out that the mummy was actually the old fairground owner all along? It was... Weirdly, Jeffrey Epstein got away with it. He would have done if it wasn't for those pesky kids.
Did you see that the royal expert was like, oh, the Queen's reputation should be looked at because people look at her and say this is a 93-year-old woman who has lost her judgment. And I was kind of a bit like, that's what you take from that? Because we all know rule number one is blame his mum. As great as the Me Too movement is, Miriam Weinstein has a lot to answer for. Like...
Do you think this could be a new thing for Pizza Express? Like, they're apparently not doing very well financially. Do you think they could just provide alibis for famous people? Do you think if Jimmy Savile was still around, he'd just publish a picture of him with a Quattro Formaggi and he would have got away with it?
Caught hanging out with a convicted pedo. We'll produce a receipt that says you don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I have to say that Epstein was not a convicted paedophile. He was convicted of procuring sex with a underage prostitute. Because apparently there's a distinction. There was a woman on the news on the TV was making that distinction. It's not paedophilia. It's an underage prostitute. It's like those people who say, "Oh, I'm not racist for hating Muslims because Muslim isn't a race." Once you start making those distinctions, you're really not on the right side.
I met a prostitute once. Yeah. Now, she asked me if I wanted a hand job. I said, how much would that be? She said, roughly 50 quid. I was light and gently.
I just want to say that in the wake of all this pizza place controversy, obviously we had the Novichok special, Zzz's, and now we've got the Pizza Express providing alibis for potential perverts. I feel like it's not safe anymore. There's no pizza place we can trust. They're all going to start toppling one after one. It's going to be like the dominoes effect.
I've always said, if you want a pizza place that endorses the principle of consent, go to Ask. That was very exciting. There's something about when you do like a funny off-the-cuff joke, you get this huge surge of adrenaline. I mean, I won't sweat for weeks.
That's the amazing thing, isn't it? Because that's one of his things, wasn't it? Saying he didn't sweat, which is a weird thing.
It's a poor excuse.
I'm really angry about this sweating excuse because if it's true, we should have been calling him the Fresh Prince for ages.
You also think, don't you, that if he doesn't sweat, if he genuinely doesn't sweat, he's got to cool down somehow. Like, dogs don't sweat.
Yes.
So why aren't there a whole sequence of photographs of him going...
Why don't we just ask this Epstein guy what happened?
Didn't know thought of that. I also like the fact that there is a room, apparently in Buckingham Palace, that looks like a Wetherspoons.
I zoomed in on the table number and I ordered him a pizza on the app.
I joined the Prince for curry night. Do we think that this will damage his legacy? Sorry. I knew you wouldn't get to the end of the sentence of that. Is there anything in the message we send to princes, though, that we fill their heads with? You can walk up to any sleeping 16-year-old and just kiss them, and then expect them to behave normally? Is that society's problem here? I'm not really meaning that seriously.
Well, it has really rather made, you know... It's made the phrase, one day your prince will come, sound more like a threat.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, you and Mark. Now we play a round called Prince Andrew's Meat Feast. This game involves Ed Gamble and Mark Simmons, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and whoever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first thing is family. Ed.
Just a normal picture of a normal family there. Terrifying serial killer smiles. My dad is he's an intelligent man. I would describe him as intelligent, but he's that level of intelligence where if he gets caught making a stupid mistake, he will lie to get his way out of it. Perfect example, many years ago when I was 8 or 9, my dad took me into a baker's. He marched up to the lady working behind the counter and he said, "Hello! We'd like a Danish boog, please." Now, don't worry, she all looked at me like you're all looking at me now. Because the Danish boog is not a thing that exists. That is not a baked product. So obviously she said, "So sorry, sir, never heard of the Danish boog. Is it a baked product?" My dad ploughed on with, if anything, increased confidence. He said, "Yes, the Danish boog." She said, "Again, I've just started working here, but I know everything we sell here. I've never heard of a Danish boog." Started to get angry now. I was going, "The Danish boog! The Danish boog!" pointing at a chalkboard behind her. She turned round, looked at the chalkboard, turned back to us and said, "Do you mean the Danish 800 gram?" I think in this situation, 99.99% of us would immediately go, "God, of course I do, I'm so sorry. Not the boog, of course. I saw the A, I thought it was a B. I saw the G, that was still a G, to be fair. But the Danish 800 gram, that is the bread that I would like." It was a bread, by the way, not a massive pastry. Right, but here's how my dad chose to handle it. She said, "Do you mean the Danish 800 gram? My dad said, "No, I mean a Danish boog." She snapped and went, "Well, I'm going to have to go and speak to the boss because I have no idea what you're talking about." My dad went all in on the lie. He was going, "Well, you better hurry up. It's not a Saturday without a boog." "If I go back to my wife without a boog, she'll have my bloody guts for garters, thank you very much." And as soon as she left his field of vision, I will never forget this until the day I die, he leant down to me and said, "We're leaving now."
Thank you very much, Ed Gamble. OK, that leaves us with Mark. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is relationships.
So, a lot of people say comedy is the new rock and roll. Well, if you want to know how many women I sleep with, last week alone... I am in a relationship. I messaged my girlfriend asking her to describe the first time we made love, and she texts back quite quick. She said she thought I'd get the name of the Black Eyed Peas frontman wrong. I said, "Will I now?" Honeymoon period. That's unlucky. Sometimes my girlfriend scratches during sex. Last week she won a tenner. Sometimes she has a go at me during sex. We started doing it and she was like, "Mark, can we take off your socks?" So I was like, "OK." So I spoke about a couple of rude bits. I'll tell you this, right? I recently woke up to find my girlfriend using her vibrator in complete silence. And I thought, that is not on. Sometimes I like to sleep in the fetal position, which isn't very comfortable for my mum. That's all for me, thank you.
Well done. Points there go to Mark. Well done. Come on. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topic and image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Stand back, hand me my skateboard, I'm going to grind these rails.
Is everyone excited that he's about to step down?
This next song's called I Love Jews.
The guy with the phone is really rubbing it in for the guy with the massive camera, isn't he?
Yeah.
You can get exactly the same technology on one of these now.
Do you want the actual answer?
Yeah, please.
That's Jeremy Corbyn.
Correct. Absolutely right. Thank you very much. Yes, this is Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn, who this week went head-to-head with Conservative Party leader Boris Johnson in the first televised debate of the general election campaign. What did you make of Corbyn versus Johnson?
Oh, it was almost like Alien versus Predator. It was wonderful. I loved it. I mean, it's fine, but they didn't ask Johnson any of the tough questions like, where were you last night and how many children do you have?
It'd be weird to bring that up as a topic within a debate. I mean,
Sure, you jazz it up a little bit.
If they go, we're going to ask a question of how many children you have. I'm going to go to you first, Jeremy. Very much putting off the obvious.
It is a weird thing to ask in a prime ministerial debate.
Yeah.
It's also a weirder thing not to know the answer to.
It's all meant to be about issues and stuff, and I did try and watch it in that way, but I actually became slightly fixated on Jeremy Corbyn's glasses. And I thought, I can't, because you can't go on a national...
It even ended, like, in the most Corbyn way, because did you see they were asked to say what they would get each other for Christmas?
Yep.
And Boris finally said, oh, OK, I'll get him some jams. And then Corbyn, I think he thought it was cool, but it just looked really sort of childish. He was like, well, I make my own. Oh, you're hard.
I do think the polls were like Boris slightly won.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was very, very tight. The results, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know you were excited by the debate, but... no, but the thing is that when Boris said that he, like, thought... They were like, do you think trust is important? And Boris was like, absolutely. And then everyone laughed. And it's like, how can he have won?
Everything about Boris annoys me. Like, when he was announced as Prime Minister, I got really excited about that evening because my girlfriend messaged me saying, BJ, PM.
The major parties have announced a host of big spending policies ahead of this year's pre-Christmas election. Let's do Labour first. What have Labour been promising?
They're going to nationalise BT broadband.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, just as soon as they get through to BT broadband.
I just don't trust Jeremy Corbyn talking about the internet. He looks like he still uses the Yellow Pages.
Yes.
Like, he probably calls an email a space letter. They're basically offering state-funded porn, aren't they, really? And if they ran with that, I'm definitely voting for them.
They said broadband. They want to extend broadband for free across the country because you currently rank, I think it's like 26 out of 28 European countries. But in a few months, we'll rank 1 out of 1 non-European, which is a much better number to be.
It's amazing, but the Labour Party want the government to be the body that you complain to about your broadband. That's amazing. They'll just be inundated with calls, won't they? And Labour Party particularly, because they've got a very bad complaints procedure.
OK, I don't think people are going to ring them and say, I think my broadband is anti-Semitic. No, it's part of their giveaway. There is a thing that it is. We're in the giveaway part of the election. It is the crazy...
The magic money tree has been found by every party.
Every political ad at the moment, from both parties, should have one of those inflating things. Just vibrating behind them. Hi, I'm Chrissy Boris. Trains everywhere. Everywhere with trains. 40 hospitals.
I like the Lib Dem policy. This is a genuine promise, which I made a note of, that they promised to bring back the Department of Energy and Climate Change, which was previously merged with the Business Department to become the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. And it's these kind of headline-grabbing policies that have really put Lib Dems on the map, I feel, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think it's time those two departments got divested again.
Yeah, you've always gone on about that. In other news, what's going on here?
Is he saying, can I have a Danish boog, please?
This is the brilliant moment we finally discover that Boris's hair shade is bread.
Do you think he's buying a hard breadstick or a soft breadstick?
This photo is Tory food porn because it's essentially white bread surrounding a big lump of gammon.
I think it's incredible that he could be surrounded by bread and still be the doughiest thing in the picture.
Well, it's classic Tory in bread. That was amazing. You applauded and then just started doing your joke as you... Anyway, on to some proper stuff now.
Anyway, I think this is a picture of Boris after he puts yet another bun in the oven.
He's pretty much certainly going, I love baps.
Is he behind the till, though? I can't...
He is behind the till, yeah.
Yeah, because he's weird that the customers...
But they're not, they're outside. That's glass, Dara. You can see through glass. That's what we call here, we call that a shop window. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It was a revolutionary thing that came in about 400 or 500 years.
There is no end to your acting talents. Southern Belle accent and mime.
Yeah, It turns out that the accent you're best at is mime.
How dare you? I'm going to go down to the basement now. It is Prime Minister Boris Johnson in a bakery in Somerset while on the campaign trail. Which former associate of Boris Johnson attacked him this week?
Jennifer Occurring.
Yes, she did.
It's very suspicious, that whole thing, isn't it? Because her stance has always sort of been like, nothing happened between us, nothing happened. And then all of a sudden she's like, nothing happened between us. But I just think it's funny how you can go from being in someone's life and then suddenly they're not in your life anymore. And I just think it would be nice to just get a phone call the morning after. Like, is that too much to ask? But nothing happened.
Apparently, she said that he treated her like a gremlin, which is clearly not true. There's no way he ever got her wet.
Also, I don't know what the truth of it is, but it's absolute proof that people are attracted to people who look like...
I'm going to have a lonely time. Before it's going to end, Sophie Amazing! Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a costume drama.
Madam, I'm in line to the throne, and as such, we shall be dining somewhere that befits my title. Pizza Express Woking.
Batman. I mean, I suppose technically it's a costume.
Heathcliff, let me in. I just wondered if we could count on your vote on December 12th.
Generally, I am a footman, sir, although I do also like the bottom and the breasts.
Right, just reading this review from the Anne Boleyn musical. Says it was a good idea, but they didn't like the execution.
Lord Windermere is famed for his opulent balls. I've heard he wet shaves them.
Jag kan täcka land. Jag kan täcka lives. Men jag kan inte ha en accent.
You are Jane Eyre, so this must be your brother, Nike.
That new servant girl is so cold and unresponsive. Watch this. Alexa? Alexa?
Your Lordship, I am am delighted and excited by the unexpected turn our correspondence has taken. I await with feverish excitement the next portrait of your engorged penis. Please accept this crude sketch of my boobs as a token of my affection.
My heart is in my mouth. My liver is in my anus. Jesus, this corset is tight!
Carson, please get your hand out of my trousers. When I told you to go below stairs, it wasn't a euphemism.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. So, yeah, that's Mike, Alpha, X-ray, India, Mike.
As the ruler of this country, I demand some respect. When you see me, you will bow and you will say, yes, queen.
Mr. Darcy, I could never belong to you. I am promised to another, but I could give you a quick handy by emotions.
The next topic is unlikely lines from a cosmetics commercial.
Do you long for the soft skin of a teenager? And just to remind you, you are under oath, Prince Andrew.
Stop aging in its tracks. Die!
Coco Chanel. The alluring combination of Chanel and Coco.
I work for the British diving team and I moisturise daily.
Religious Donkey, the new fragrance from Christian Dior.
Kiss goodbye to wrinkles. Seriously, tell your granny you'll miss her.
Renaissance Blanc. The probiotic youth regeneration serum from Poundland.
I want my face to have a matte finish, which is why I let my mate Matt finish on my face.
Why not try our new lipstick? It looks like a tiny dog's cock.
Problems with sweat? Try serving in the Falklands War. Throwing it right out.
My last cleanser simply didn't agree with my skin, and that's why I will never use Cif again.
Problematique, the new fake tan range from Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
One full of lips, suck a hoover.
Do you have dry skin? Ugh.
Dry, flaky skin, unwanted hair. I'd send that bowl of soup back if I was you.
Do you have a face? Well, it's wrong.
As an alternative to teeth whitening, have you considered gum darkening?
Rub the lotion on your skin, else you get the hose again.
New, barely legal moisturiser. You won't just look young, you'll look too young.
Our new blusher shades range from mild embarrassment to your grandma walking in and you're knocking one out.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Sophie and Maisie. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Gamble, Sophie Duker and Maisie Allen. Commiserations to Mark Simmons, Hugh Dennis and Ed Byrne. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Take a listen to Tom Neenan's new satirical podcast on the BBC Sounds app, and maybe you can be just like him. While lovable rogues collar and jock are back in BBC Three's The Young Offenders, streaming now on iPlayer, and more fun over on BBC One in around 5 minutes with Graham Norton.